My name is Marcus Thompson, and I am 31 years old. The night my friends mocked my small apartment, they were visiting for a housewarming party. My first place. 500 square feet. Studio layout. One room that served as bedroom, living room, and dining room. A tiny kitchen. A bathroom barely big enough to turn around in. But it was mine. I had saved for 3 years. Worked 2 jobs. Lived with roommates. Sacrificed. Finally scraped together enough for a down payment. Bought this small condo in a building that needed work. Got a good price because most people did not want to deal with the repairs. I did not mind. I knew how to fix things. My grandfather had been a contractor. Taught me everything. Plumbing. Electrical. Drywall. Carpentry. I could handle whatever this place needed. My friends arrived around 7. Derek and his girlfriend Melissa. Trevor and his wife Amanda. Brian and his fiancée Sarah. They all lived in bigger places. Nicer neighborhoods. Rented from luxury buildings with amenities. Gyms. Pools. Doormen. They walked into my studio. I looked around. I saw their faces change. Pity. Judgment. Disappointment. Derek spoke first. So this is it. The whole thing. This is it. 500 square feet. But it is mine. Melissa looked at the Murphy bed. Still folded into the wall. Is that your bed? Like, you have to pull it down every night? Yes. Saves space during the day. Trevor opened the tiny closet. Barely big enough for a week of clothes. Where do you keep everything else? Storage unit downstairs. Came with the condo. Amanda examined the kitchen. 2-burner stove. Mini fridge. No dishwasher. You cook here? Sometimes. Mostly simple meals. Brian looked out the window. At the parking lot. The dumpsters. The chain link fence. Not much of a view. It is fine. I am not here for the view. Sarah tried to be nice. It is cozy. Very efficient. Perfect for one person. But her tone said what she really thought. This is too small. Too cramped. Too sad. We ate pizza. Drank beer. Sat on my second-hand couch. Made small talk. But I could feel their judgment. Their pity. Their relief that they did not live like this. Derek brought it up directly. No offense, man, but why buy this? Why not just keep renting? Get a roommate. Live somewhere nicer. Because I wanted to own something. Build equity. Stop throwing money away on rent. But you are barely living. Look at this place. You cannot even have people over properly. I have you over now. You know what I mean. This is not sustainable. What if you meet someone? Want to start a family? You cannot raise kids here. I am not planning to stay here forever. This is a starter place. An investment. I will build equity. Renovate. Sell in a few years. Use the profit for something bigger. Trevor laughed. Renovate? This building is falling apart. You would need to gut the whole thing to make it worth anything. Maybe. But I know how to do that. My grandfather taught me. Melissa set down her beer. You are going to renovate this yourself? That is a lot of work. I have time. And skills. I am not afraid of work. Amanda looked skeptical. Still. Would it not be easier to just rent somewhere nice? Like our building? They have great amenities. Pool. Gym. Concierge service. Your rent is $3,000 a month. Mine is $800. Including HOA fees. That is a big difference. But you get what you pay for. I am getting exactly what I paid for. A place to live that I own. That I can improve. That will appreciate in value. Brian shook his head. I do not know, man. Seems like a lot of sacrifice for not much gain. The gain is ownership. Freedom. Not being at the mercy of a landlord. Not losing money every month. Sarah tried again to be supportive. I think it is great that you are investing. Building something. But you have to admit. This is pretty small. It is small. But it is mine. They left around 10. Made polite excuses. Said congratulations again. Thanked me for having them over. But I saw the look they exchanged in the hallway. The one that said poor Marcus. Living in a shoebox. sacrificing quality of life for some misguided sense of ownership. I cleaned up, folded down the Murphy bed, lay there in the dark, listening to my neighbors through thin walls, thinking about their words, their judgment, their certainty that I had made a mistake. But I did not feel like I made a mistake. I felt free, proud, like I was building something, even if they could not see it. What my friends did not know, what I had not told them, was that I had more than just repair skills. I had a business. For the past 2 years, I have been building a handyman company. Started small, fixing things for neighbors, for friends of friends. Word of mouth. I was good, fast, reliable, affordable. People started calling regularly. 6 months before buying my condo, I made it official. Registered the business. Thompson Home Services. Got licensed. Insured. Started advertising. Built a website. Got business cards. I still worked my day job. Office manager at a logistics company. But evenings and weekends, I did repairs. Plumbing. Electrical. Drywall. Painting. Whatever people needed. The income was good. Steady. Growing. Between my salary and the business, I was making decent money. More than my friends realized. More than my small apartment suggested. But I lived frugally. Saved aggressively. Because I had plans. Big plans. And those plans required capital. One of my regular clients was a property management company. Pacific Coast Properties. They managed over 200 rental units in the city. Apartment buildings. Condos. Houses. They needed constant maintenance. Repairs. Updates. I had done work for them before. Fixed leaky faucets. Replaced broken fixtures. Patched walls. They liked me. Paid promptly. Called often. The owner, Mr. David Zhao, was impressed with my work. Told me I should do this full time. Build it into something bigger. I told him maybe someday. For now, I was building slowly. Carefully. Making sure every job was done right. One thing Mr. Zhao mentioned casually during a job. We managed that new luxury building on Harbor Street. The Meridian. Beautiful place. High-end finishes. But the original contractor cut corners. We are constantly dealing with problems. Leaks. Electrical issues. Cheap fixtures breaking. It is a nightmare. I knew that building. My friends lived there. Derek and Melissa in Unit 412. Trevor and Amanda in 508. Brian and Sarah in 623. They had all moved in within the past year. Loved the amenities. The location. The prestige. Apparently, they had not noticed the problems yet. Or maybe they had. Maybe that was part of why they were always complaining to the building management. I did not mention that my friends lived there. Just filed the information away. Interesting. But not relevant to my life. Until it became very relevant. 3 months after my housewarming party, I got a call on a Saturday morning. Unknown number. I answered. Hello. Is this Thompson Home Services? A woman's voice. Stressed. Urgent. Yes. This is Marcus. How can I help you? Oh, thank God. My name is Melissa Garcia. I got your number from my landlord. Pacific Coast Properties. They said you were the best. We have an emergency. Our toilet is overflowing. Water is everywhere. Can you come right away? Melissa Garcia. Derek's girlfriend. The one who had mocked my Murphy bed. I kept my voice professional. I can be there in 30 minutes. What is the address? She gave it to me. The Meridian. Unit 412. Just as I thought. I will be right there. I grabbed my tools. Drove to the building. Parked in the visitor spot. Took the elevator to the 4th floor. Knocked on 412. Melissa opened the door. Frantic. Hair in a messy bun. Wearing sweats. She looked at me. Registered my face. I froze. Marcus? Hi Melissa. You called for a plumber. I did not know it was you. The landlord just gave me this number. That is okay. Let me take a look at the toilet. She let me in. The apartment was nice. Modern. Open floor plan. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Exactly the kind of place that would cost $3,000 a month. The bathroom was flooded. Water seeped out into the hallway. I could see the problem immediately. Cheap toilet. Faulty seal. Poor installation. Exactly what Mr. Zhao had warned me about. I turned off the water. Started working. Replacing the seal. Fixing the flush mechanism. Mopping up the water. Melissa hovered. Awkward. Uncomfortable. So you do this? Repairs? Yes. I run a handyman business. Evenings and weekends mostly. I did not know that. Most people do not. I do not advertise it much. Just word of mouth and referrals. That is impressive. Building your own business. Thank you. She was quiet for a moment. Then. I am sorry. About what we said. At your housewarming. About your apartment being small. That was rude. It is fine. You were being honest. Still. We should not have judged. I finished the repair. Tested the toilet. Everything is working. You are all set. The seal was worn out. Cheap materials. Happens a lot in new buildings when contractors cut corners. How much do I owe you? I gave her the quote. Fair. Reasonable. She paid. Tipped generously. Maybe out of guilt. Maybe out of genuine appreciation. Thank you. Really. You saved us. Just doing my job. I left. Drove home. Thought about the irony. They had mocked my small apartment. Now they were calling me to fix their expensive one. But I did not feel smug. Just professional. This was business. Nothing personal. Over the next 6 months, I got more calls from the Meridian. Not always from my friends. But often enough that it became a pattern. Trevor called when their garbage disposal broke. Water leaking under the sink. Cheap pipes. Poor installation. I fixed it. He was embarrassed. Thanked me quietly. Paid quickly. Wanted me to leave fast. Amanda called when their bedroom ceiling started leaking. The unit above them had a slow leak in their bathroom. Damaged the ceiling. I had to cut out the drywall. Replace it. Patch. Paint. 3 days of work. She tried to make small talk. Asked about my business. My apartment. Whether I had upgraded. I kept answers short. Professional. Focused on the work. Brian called when their electrical outlet sparked and died. Faulty wiring. Dangerous. Could have caused a fire. I replaced the outlet. Checked the circuit. Made sure everything was safe. Sarah offered me coffee. I tried to chat. I politely declined. I had another job to get to. Each time, they were uncomfortable. Embarrassed. The people who had judged my small apartment were now dependent on me to fix their expensive one. And each time, I was professional. Kind. Efficient. Did the work. Got paid. Moved on. Because this was not about revenge. This was about building something. A business. A reputation. A future. Derek called last. 6 months after Melissa's toilet emergency. Their air conditioning died in the middle of summer. Building maintenance said it would be 3 days before they could get to it. Derek called me directly. Asked if I could come sooner. I had an opening that afternoon. Went over. Fixed the AC unit. Refrigerant leak. Simple repair. 1 hour of work. Derek tried to apologize. About housewarming. About judging my apartment. About not taking me seriously. I stopped him. You do not need to apologize. You were just being honest about what you saw. But we were wrong. You are doing well. Building something. We were short-sighted. Maybe. But it does not matter now. You needed help. I provided it. That is all. Still. I am sorry. Apology accepted. Now you are all set. AC should work fine. He paid. Added a large tip. I tried to make up for the judgment. The dismissal. The assumption that my small apartment meant small dreams. By the end of that year, Thompson Home Services had grown significantly. Pacific Coast Properties kept referring me to tenants. Word spread. I got more calls. More jobs. More regular clients. I hired help. 2 part-time assistants. Younger guys learning the trade. I trained them the way my grandfather trained me. Do it right. Be honest. Treat people with respect. My income from the business surpassed my salary from the office job. I gave notice. Went full-time on Thompson Home Services. Scary. But necessary. Within 6 months, I had to turn down jobs. Too much demand. Not enough time. I hired 2 more people. Full-time now. Built a team. I also sold my small condo. The one my friends had mocked. The 500 square foot studio. I had renovated it slowly over 2 years. New floors. Updated kitchen. Modern bathroom. Fresh paint throughout. Sold it for $60,000 more than I paid. After fees and costs, I cleared $45,000 in profit. Combined with what I had saved from the business, I had enough for a larger down payment. I bought a house. Small. 2 bedrooms. I need work. But a house. With a yard. In a decent neighborhood. The mortgage was manageable. I could renovate slowly. Build equity. Create value. My friends did not know about the house. I did not tell them. Kept living quietly. Working hard. Building. 1 year after that first emergency call from Melissa, I got a text. From Derek. Hey man. We are having a dinner party next month. All the old crew. I want you to come. We owe you. For all the help this year. And for being cool about everything. I thought about declining. But I decided to go. Curious. Wanting to see how things had changed. The dinner was at Derek and Melissa's place. Same apartment. Same luxury building. Same expensive rent. I arrived with a bottle of wine. Knocked. Derek answered. Smiled. More genuine this time. Marcus. Come in. Everyone was there. Trevor and Amanda. Brian and Sarah. Cooking together. Drinking. Laughing. More relaxed than the last time we had all gathered. We ate. Talked. Caught up. They asked about my business. How it was going. Whether I was still in the small apartment. Actually, I bought a house. A few months ago. The room went quiet. They stared. A house. Trevor sounded surprised. Like, an actual house. Yes. 2 bedrooms. Small yard. I need work. But it is mine. That is amazing. Amanda seemed genuinely happy. Where? I told them. A decent neighborhood. Not fancy. But solid. Safe. Good schools nearby if I ever need that. Brian leaned forward. How did you afford a house? I thought you were still building your business. I am. The business is. Doing well. Really well. I went full-time 6 months ago. Hired a team. We are booked solid. Sarah looked impressed. So you are making good money now. Better than I expected. Enough to buy a house. Save. Invest. Live comfortably. Derek shook his head. Man, I had no idea. I thought you were just doing side jobs. Handyman stuff. It started that way. But it grew. People need reliable help. I will provide it. Turns out that is a good business model. Melissa spoke quietly. We judged you. When you bought that tiny apartment. Thought you were making a mistake. But you were investing. Building. We were just spending. The room was quiet. Thoughtful. Trevor admitted. We pay $3,000 a month in rent. I have been for over a year. That is $36,000. Just gone. No equity. No ownership. Just a place to live. Meanwhile, I bought it for $800 a month. Build equity. Sold for profit. Upgraded. Still building equity. Amanda laughed. Kind of makes us look foolish. Not foolish. Just different priorities. You wanted amenities. Convenience. Luxury. I wanted. Ownership. Investment. Long-term value. Neither is wrong. Just different. But you were right. Brian's voice was thoughtful. You sacrificed short-term comfort for long-term gain. We did the opposite. I shrugged. Maybe. Or maybe I just knew what I wanted. What mattered to me. A small apartment was fine if it meant owning something. Building something. The dinner ended differently than my housewarming had. No judgment. No pity. Just respect. Acknowledgement. Understanding that wealth is not always visible. That success does not always look impressive. That building something real requires sacrifice. As I left, Derek walked me to the door. Thank you. For coming. For being cool. For not rubbing this in our faces. Nothing to rub in. We are just on different paths. Still. We were jerks. About your apartment. About your choices. You could have thrown that back at us. But you did not. What would that accomplish? You needed help. I provided it. That is business. Not personal. He shook my hand. You are a good man. And a good businessman. I respect that. I drove home. To my small house. With work to do. Rooms to renovate. Equity to build. A future to create. My friends had mocked my small apartment. I thought I was sacrificing too much. Settling for less. Living poorly. But I was building. Quietly. Steadily. Creating value. Owning assets. Developing skills. Building a business. And when their expensive apartments broke, when their luxury building showed its cheap construction, when they needed help, they called me. Not because I was their friend. Because I was the best. The most reliable. The one who could fix what was broken. That mattered more than their approval. More than their judgment. More than living in a place that impressed them. I had built something real. Something valuable. Something of mine. And that was worth every square foot of that tiny apartment. 5 years after buying that small studio, Thompson Home Services had 15 employees. 3 trucks. A reputation as the best handyman service in the city. Revenue over $1 million annually. Profitable. Growing. Sustainable. I had bought 2 more houses. Renovated them. Rented one. Sold the other. Built a small real estate portfolio. Nothing huge. Just steady growth. Smart investments. Long-term thinking. My friends were still renting. Still paying premium prices for luxury apartments. Still building no equity. Still dependent on landlords. On maintenance crews. On people like me to fix what broke. I did not judge them. Just as I asked them not to judge me. People make different choices. Value different things. Live different lives. But I learned something important. Wealth is not always visible. Success does not always look impressive. Building something real requires sacrifice. Patience. Vision. The willingness to be mocked for living small while building big. My small apartment was not a limitation. It was a launching pad. A foundation. A first step towards something larger. And the people who mocked it? They became my clients. My advocates. My proof that doing things right, even when it looks small, leads to something significant. They laughed at where I lived. I let them laugh. I kept working. Keep building. Keep growing. And when their expensive lives broke, they called me. Because I was the one who knew how to fix things.